time for Fifth Quarter on KALB. Sponsored by Christus St. Francis Cabrini Hospital.
The first week of high school football certainly delivered in a big way. Week 1 gave us one of the most spectacular catches that you will ever see on any level. Ash's Amirion Mingo went full Odell Beckham mode for a touchdown grab. The other big storylines coming from the ground game. 3 of the state's top 7 leading rushers all come from Central Louisiana, with the leader of that pack being none other than Xavier Ford. What running back will lead the way following week 2? And well, week 1 turned out to be a wild one. Week 2 delivered as well. Thank you for joining us here on the Fifth Quarter. Dylan Domingue, Nigel Dyson, Mary Margaret Ellison will join us in just a bit. And we'll start things off with our game of the week. And as always, our cool game of the week is sponsored by Southern Air. Last week, it was the Gina Giants rallying down 2 scores in the second half to defeat Mangum. This week, the Giants looking for that same magic in Leesville. What was an early season playoff caliber matchup. And here comes the Wampus Cats and the Giants and the battle of the 2 best running backs in the state, in my opinion, Xavier Ford and Zarek Jones. And they put on a show today. Pretty quiet first quarter with 46 seconds left. Xavier Ford plunges it in for his first touchdown of the night from 2 yards out. Wampus Cats on the board first, but Gina responds with a Zarek Jones touchdown, makes it 6-6. Then after a slight lightning delay, Xavier Ford is bringing the thunder.
Wow.
Turns it on for a house call. 54 yards to the house. It's 14-6 Cats. The Giants looking to go to war for Gina. Don't worry, Zach Barker hands it off to the man, Zarek Jones, and we have a back and forth game. 43 yards, 2 touchdowns for the running backs in both of this one. Gina had a game-sealing pick at the end of this game. It was tied 14-14 at the half, but check out this one. Gina storms into Leesville, comes away with a 22-20 win over Leesville. We're joined with Mary Margaret Ellison live from Leesville. I know they just turned the lights out you at the game, but it was a lights out performance from Zarek Jones, right? You saw it back-to-back weeks in the game of the week. Zarek Jones performs. They get the win. What did you see from Gina to come back in this one?
Honestly, what I saw from Gina, what Coach Roark said after the game, they just do not give up. They always have that fight. They have the fight in them, and he said pretty much the fight comes from the 0-4 start from last season. Now they are 2-0, and of course he said that they every single time they come in, especially the first 4 games, they're going to come in with revenge. They definitely came in with revenge tonight, especially Zarek Jones. Of course, you know, he had 3 touchdowns. He also had 152 yards, but also flip it on this side. Okay, obviously it was the battle of the running backs. As you could tell, they scored every single touchdown on each side, but also Xavier Ford, you have to mention him. He had 182 yards and 3 touchdowns, but pretty much you said it, to seal the deal, it was the interception by Demarion Hammock, and that was honestly the game changer that I thought. But honestly, Zarek Jones, he was the athlete of the week for a reason, and he is unstoppable. But of course, we knew this game was going to be close, and it was tied 14-14 at half. And of course, the lightning delay, I mean, it gave us a little delay on the sideline, but it did not give Zarek Jones a delay whatsoever.
You know what I think happened? I think Zarek Jones heard us talking about Xavier Ford so much. He's like, you know what? I could be the best running back in Cenla. I think he made a case for himself tonight for sure.
He did make a case for himself. Also, after the game, I will say, hopefully you can see it in the Facebook Live show, Zarek Jones and Xavier Ford came up to each other after the game, and they were hugging each other, and I was like, you know, you can be enemies whenever you are in between the lines, but you can be friends after the game.
Mutual
and also,
respect. Gina
fans, I got so much crap from them because I picked against them. I'm very sorry for picking against you.
We all picked Leesville in this one, but they delivered for game of the week 2 weeks in a row. We'll see what happens next week as well, but you had a game that delivered as well.
I did. I took a trip down to Manning where they played Ritter in their Tiger season opening. Manny looking for their first win of the year, but this was gonna be a good one. You know, the Manny Tigers. Hayden Evans fakes the handoff and finds the big target, Tylen Singleton. Get used to the name. It seems like he's filling in that Tackett Curtis role this year. Big body.
He's usually a DB, but catching passes there.
Hey, there we go. And then Manny wouldn't score on that drive, but they would score on this one as Jeremiah James puts it in the gap and puts 6 on the board. Those boys were starving, but hey, now they get to eat. Look at them. Look at them. Let's stir it up, stir it up, stir it up.
Honestly, big bounce back, too, for Manny after that loss to Sam Houston.
Oh, yeah. And then here we have DeRuyter would get a huge gain. They tried to get a gain, but they would not be taken this time by the Tigers. But they would get another opportunity to get a big gain on this play. Manny would go up 14-10 at half, but they would end up winning the game 34-14.
All right, we have another game coming up back here in Alexandria. First time on the brand new turf field for Peabody. And it's only fair that you score first on your new field, right? Larry Roberts airing it out, and why not? When you got one of the best receivers in the area, TJ Hullaby, 53 yards, and he has dinner reservations for 6. Trojans led 8-0 after 1, but here comes Faraday on the goal line. The counter play puts the Trojans on the board. It's 8-6, but TJ Hullaby returned the ensuing kickoff for a score. It was so fast the cameras didn't even see it, but we did see this. Nate Francis breaking free on the big game, sets up Peabody in the red zone. And look, after a run like that, you gotta let him finish the drive. Francis does just that. Warhorses move to 2-0, 32-22 over Faraday. Some of the scores from around the area: Ash falling to 0-2 on the season after a road loss at St. Thomas More. They return home next week against Nat Central, which should be a pretty good one. Tioga has a good win on the road tonight. We'll have more highlights of that one coming up a little later. And that was just a few games. We have plenty more coming up here on the 5th quarter.
And you're watching the 5th quarter on News Channel 5. Let's go!
Fifth Quarter Scoreboard is sponsored by Antune Hospitality Group's family of restaurants, including Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen and Outlaws Barbecue. Louisiana's most wanted, always the winning call.
Some shout out to the drum majors out there. In Pineville tonight, it was a Cowboys versus Aliens matchup. I'm sure to say it was actually Menard versus Pineville. The game definitely not out of this world. Both teams struggling to move the ball tonight on that slick grass. We're going to give credit where credit's due for these offensive linemen on both teams. Some pancakes out there. Look at this first quarter. Menard's Braylon Dusang with his sights on Jalen Whitty. Pushes Whitty all the way back to the 15. 4th down. This one goes over the head. The black uniform's not doing too good for Pineville. He gets hit. 2 Eagles swoop in, take Davis out of bounds. I think that was a safety right there. It's a hard hit from both sides. A few plays later, Rebels say, here's payback. Menard's QB gets taken down. Second quarter, it's 2-0. You're not going to get a lot of offense in these highlights. Rebels look to get on the board. Not sure where Whitty's throwing there as the ball lands straight into the hands of another Eagle. 2nd down. Menard's Matt Kirk wide open, but that ball just barely gets into the hands. Jacob Miranda comes out of nowhere with it. This is honestly one of those games you just look at the tape and you say, all right, moving on to next week. Menard wins 16-7 over Pineville.
Over in Turpin Stadium for Jess Curtis, home opener with Nat Central Chiefs. Our friends at the school helping us with the highlights tonight. Opelousas strikes first. Isaiah Amos punches it in for the early Tiger touchdown. Later in the first, it's 1st and 20, and the Tigers keep it on the ground. Deshaun Ford is driving his Ford F-150 down the field, motoring his way all the way to take the 2-score lead. But here comes the Chiefs. Owen Smith rolling out, finds his man, but look at the yards after the catch. With the spin move. Oh my goodness. Are we in the dryer?
You might see that play come up a little later in the show. Chiefs looking to tie it up here. It's 14-7 at the time. They're down basically on the goal line. It's another slant from the quarterback. They get scored within 1, but Opelousas pulls away late, 40-28 over Nat Central. Some other scores from tonight. Marksville currently leading Sacred Heart 30-12, but Andy Boone at Lakeview gets his first win with the Gators, puts up 60 over Montgomery. On to Grant now, where Jarvis Felton was trying to start 2-0 in his first year with the Cougars, but check out the eye black from this guy, right? Looking like Gene Simmons out here. It was the Cougars ready to rock and roll all night, though. Second play of the game, laying the boom, picking them up and dropping them. And look, with this cool front we had this evening, Jaden Moore was putting the defenders on ice skates. He can't bring the man down as the Cougars strike first. Next drive. This had the chance to be one of our plays of the week. Watch this athletic run from quarterback Jackson Hedrick. He hits the juke, then he hits the hurdle, and then the spin move all in one play. But guess what? It would all be for nothing. Illegal formation takes away the play. That play, honestly, just as nice as this kid's
mullet.
I said mohawk in the script. It's a mullet. Very next play, the big man, Caden Chandler, showing off the speed, untouched at the house. Cougs win big, 58-12. And stay with us because our plays of the week are up next.
The fifth quarter score ticker is sponsored by Hickson Autoplex. Hickson has it.
Well, Bro Bridge hosting Tioga tonight down south midway through the first after charging down the field. Indians, Kenny Pontier bullies his way through the Tigers defense. Tioga gets on the board first, 7-0. Tigers first drive trying to match, but instead it would be picked off here by guess who? It's Maximus Kadrimis. He had pick 6 last week. He does it again this week. Back-to-back is 14-0.
Kids on a roll.
Yeah, exactly. Jaden Broussard in that quarterback. He gets BB back in the game, but Josh Lloyd there for the pick, going back-to-back. No, ma'am. Your eyes aren't deceiving you. That's 21-zip. Tioga in the first. Tioga goes on a win. They hold on in this one, 34-28 over Bro Bridge.
Heading down to Bunkie as the Panthers take on Patterson and try to start their season 2-0. Slow start for both offenses, but Bunkie's Lucas Moses delivers a big hit to force a fumble and gain possession for the Panthers. On the next drive, Dylan Compton rolls out left, but is shoved out of bounds on the late hit and would exit the game.
Former athlete of the week this week.
Yes, but for Patterson would set up Bunkie with a short field. Tanner Lemoyne would quickly take advantage of Patterson's mistake, and he punches in the first touchdown of the night.
Call him Mighty Mouse. He's so small, but he's just so quick. Gets in there.
So quick. And then another Bunkie stop leads for another touchdown.
Tanner Lemoyne once again.
Lemoyne.
Look, I mean, he's so fast. You can't touch him. You can't see him if you're a defensive lineman over the offensive lineman. Bunkie, big win again. 2-0 for them. Their 26-0 win over Patterson. And look, with all the great action we've seen tonight, it's time to reveal our plays of the night presented by Farm Bureau. We go back to Nat Central for this one. You saw it. It's the receiver with the yak, right? It's a great pass. You don't see that from Nat Central and from Jess Curtis's offense much, but it's the playmaking ability by the receiver with the spin move, stays on his feet, gets in for the first touchdown of the day for the Chiefs. That's play nominee number 1. You just saw this play. Lucas Mose lays him out on the nose. Big hit, forces the fumble. And look, that's a clean hit. That is just pad to ball. Look, slow motion, pad to ball. That's there. That's exactly how you teach it up. And play nominee number 3, we didn't get to show it last week a lot. We're showing it this week because it's Maximus Kadrimis, a pick 6 for Tioga. He has to lead the state in pick 6s, right? This is the second of the season already. He's a ball hawk. That's what he does. That's why he's play nominee number 3. Out of our top plays, which one was the best? You tell us. We'll have a poll up shortly on our website to go and vote. Voting will be open all weekend. The winner will be revealed Sunday on Sports Night.
And from the top plays to the top athlete, who deserves to be our ACA Athlete of the Week? You can nominate your favorite athlete to be this week's winner. Just go to the Athlete of the Week page on our website and fill out the form. The winner is announced every Thursday right here on News Channel 5.
Before we go, of course, I want to thank Antune Hospitality Group's family of restaurants for feeding our hungry crew. Got some Popeyes chicken sandwiches. It always hits the spot just like it always does. And look, that'll do it for week 2 of the 5th quarter. But look, we're nowhere close to being done yet. Plenty more games going on around the state. You can join us over on Facebook Live and our website in just a few minutes for more Friday night football and some interviews with the winning coach for Game of the Week. We'll see you there.
Can't get enough football? KALB's 5th quarter continues online in minutes with more highlights, post-game interviews, and analysis on KALB.com and Facebook Live. Sponsored by Christus St. Francis Cabrini Hospital.